By the way, it's not just you are excited, our partners are excited.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of Good Morning Ecosystem. I'm Karen Ng, SVP of HubSpot's Product and Partnerships.
And I'm Brian Garvey, SVP of HubSpot Solutions Partner and Provider Ecosystem.
And we're thrilled to be here with you today, co-hosting this very exciting series for ecosystem leaders around the world.
Whether you're a partner focused on building new apps or you're focused on creating new services and solutions, we're here to talk about the power of ecosystems and how partners are approaching this new era to help customers grow better than ever.
Here with us today to talk about what it takes to build a thriving ecosystem and how to thrive as a partner within an ecosystem is our very own special guest, HubSpot CEO Yamini Rangan. Yamini, welcome to Good Morning Ecosystem.
Thank you for having me. You all know I love talking about partners in our ecosystem, and I know that you, Brian and Karen, you both love our partner ecosystem, so it's going to be fun.
We do. We're among friends. Yamini, just to kick things off, can you tell us a little bit about your path, kind of your career journey that brought you to HubSpot? I think listeners would be really eager to hear that to kick things off.
Oh, yeah, sure. And I'll also talk to you about why partners are important in that journey. I started my career way back as an engineer, and I did that for about 5 years before deciding to go to business school. And I was getting out of business school. It was another recession, it was right after 9/11, and I really wanted to be in product marketing. I thought I landed a job in product marketing, and I joined the company the first day. This was at Siebel, the original CRM company. And they said, well, you're in the sales organization, so go figure out some go-to-market and selling. And I then ended up spending about a decade in value-based sales. And it was probably an accidental move on my path, but probably one of the most, teaching moments in my career, because I certainly learned deep empathy for customers. And I learned an insight about how customers put their careers on the line when they made technology decisions, and how it's really important for anybody trying to have any kind of sustainable relationship with customers to care about their careers. Not just about what you're selling, not just about what you're talking about, but really care about making them successful and making sure that they get promoted. And one of the other insights that I learned, being in the sales part of the organization, is the value of partners. Now, I said value sales, and part of what I did at that time was talk about the return on investment and total cost of ownership in doing large technology projects. And every single time I was in front of the customer, there was a partner engaged. And the power of having partners engaged early on in the implementation, power of having partners drive, great onboarding and great implementations was just front and center. And so I think very early on in my career, I kind of learned the power of having partners involved to make customers successful. And then later on, this is probably a little known fact, but I worked for a partner in the CRM ecosystem. And it was a great experience kind of being on the partner side and seeing, how they were building businesses, how it was important, for them to put their entire careers on the line to bet on, a software, company, a vendor, to have, that a great thriving ecosystem. And so I think it was nice to be on the other side of being a partner as well. So I've seen both sides. And I think those lessons were really, really important. And in terms of my journey later on after sales, I kind of went into go-to-market strategy and operations. And for me, all of that was scaling, looking at patterns within go-to-market. What happens when you add 1,000 reps? Mostly kind of you have to reinvent, how you sell at that point, and reinvent how you engage with partners at that point, and reinvent how you do marketing at that point. And so the next decade in my career was a lot about scaling. And that certainly was what was exciting when I got to HubSpot. As you know, Brian, I think we met probably in the first few weeks of me joining HubSpot. And what was exciting for me was the fact that we were bringing marketing, sales, customer success support, and putting the customer at the center of everything that we do. And that's exciting, kind of given where I was going in my career. And it's been 4 years and a few months, and it's been just awesome being here.
Yeah. I remember very early on, when you joined HubSpot, you sort of pulled me aside. You were very committed to the partner ecosystem from the very beginning. I remember you saying, listen, this is going to be big. And obviously it has been. And just curious, those early observations when you joined HubSpot, what early things did you notice about the HubSpot ecosystem? Anything stand out to you?
Oh yeah, a few things. It was actually a conversation that I had with Brian in the first maybe 2 weeks of me joining HubSpot. I don't know if I've shared this story with you, Brian. So Halligan and I had this conversation. I was like, okay, I'm here. What do you want me to do? And he said, three things. I want you to do three things. But one of those three things is that he said, in typical Brian Halligan fashion, he said, today, our direct sales team plus partner sales team, 1 + 1 = 1.5. And I want 1 + 1 = 3. And then if you can do it, 1 + 1 + 1, you bring in the app partner ecosystem and make it 5 or more. And what he was pointing to was an early insight at that point. It felt more of a conflict within our direct sales teams and ecosystem partners rather than a lot of collaboration. And so he really kind of inspired me to take a look at our partner ecosystem and really build on the power of the partner ecosystem that he already saw. So huge credit for Halligan for having said, hey, this is really important for us. And I did little bit of a listening tour, as we all do as a new leader coming into an organization. And what I found is that our direct sales teams, knew the value of partners, but really didn't know how to engage with partners. So there was a little bit of pointing them in the right direction and enabling them to bring partners into the journey early along. And I saw the desire of the partner ecosystem to work with our teams, but didn't know how to scale how they worked with our teams. And so I think the journey, and you've been pretty much part of that entire journey, Brian, to really get the teams to collaborate, to find points of friction, to find points of conflict and remove that, and really put in a way in which the sales organization, the entire flywheel organization, can collaborate more with solution partners and app partners, because there is power. 1 + 1 + 1 is greater than 5, is greater than 10.
Yeah, I love that. It's like you don't even get ecosystems or platforms unless 1 + 1 = 5. And so that kind of accelerator, it's almost what we're building. Our partners, our app partners, people are building on top of us. They're growing in an exponential way and creating that platform. Yes. Love it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yamini, when we talk about the HubSpot ecosystem, you were talking a little bit about how it's changed when you've come. How have you seen mechanics of it or things change over the last 5 years?
Yeah, I think, Karen, you hit it right on, which is you don't become a platform unless you have a thriving ecosystem of partners. And if you step back and think about the two huge transformations that HubSpot is in probably the early stages of. The first transformation is that we're truly going from app to suite to customer platform. And I would say early innings, because we have our hubs and they're all maturing. We have our customer platform, it's maturing. But what is exciting about that journey is the transformation from being a suite to actually a customer platform. What happens, in that journey is that there is a moment of magic when you bring, app partners into the ecosystem and they start building, and that drives value for our customers. You have the data, but 90% of our customers have like 7 or more apps integrated. That is a platform. And in order to do that, you got to be able to attract the right kinds of, partners into the ecosystem and work with them in a super collaborative manner. And the other part of the transformation, I think we're again in the super early stages of, is we're going from serving probably the 20 to 200
Mhm.
size customers from 4 or 5 years ago to serving the entire mid market, which is customers that have 2 to 2,000 employees. And we made a decision that especially as we go up market and especially as we serve the needs of 1,000 person company, 1,500 person company, we are going to scale selling as well as servicing with expert partners. And so both of the transformations that we have been going through, and I think it'll continue to play out in terms of us becoming a customer platform for mid-market and scaling companies, have at the core the need for a strong ecosystem of partners, both on the solution partner side and app partner side. That's why this journey is exciting. And you know what? We actually went to our partners and we said, this is the journey. We're going to go, from app to suite to platform, and we're going to go from the small portion of SMB to mid-market companies. And do you want to join? And my God, they have. And that's what is exciting. And it's, super early, super exciting.
That's brilliant. Yamini, just to kind of build on that a little bit, when we look out into the future, kind of where do you see this thing going over the next year or 3 years or 5 years? How do you anticipate it kind of continuing to evolve? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I have some thoughts, but I will tell you, you both are the leaders and you are setting the vision and you are kind of driving the strategy, which is great because I think you've taken, the initial seed of this has got to be a thriving big ecosystem of partners and you're driving the strategy. So I'm going to turn it to you in a second and ask both of you how you think about the strategy for the next 5 years. But like I said, we're in the early stages and you look at almost any vector of where we can work with partners, how we co-sell with partners, how we service with partners, how we jointly solve for customers, how we drive apps, and installs, and how we integrate with partners. All of that is just going to continue to grow in service of our customers, right? As we continue to gain momentum up market, as we continue to gain
Yeah.
momentum as a customer platform, then we're going to continue to invest within the ecosystem. So I think the strategy of we want to scale sourcing and servicing and integrating with expert partners just continues over the next 5 years. And that's where you both are investing. And what has been exciting to see, and I obviously spent time at the ecosystem kickoff that you all drove, and I was happy to be there, is to see you put in, all the investments needed on the app partner side as well as the solution partner side. So maybe you should, share how you're taking this forward.
Brian, you want to go?
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, I think what I anticipate is we will continue to listen deeply to customers and what they are looking for from HubSpot and our platform, what their goals are, and we will absolutely orient to their goals and objectives. We will also continue to listen to our partners, both app and solutions partners. I think we have done that, and it's really driven a lot of the roadmap. Karen, you have just done such compelling things in terms of opening up the platform and driving customization. I think a lot of that is born of what we hear from our app and solutions partners, and I absolutely believe that will continue. As we sort of look out past where the headlights shine to like that future that's not yet illuminated, I think we see continuing to remove friction in how customers and partners, solutions and app partners work together and sort of grow better than ever. I anticipate we will continue to lean into things like industry and technical expertise from the ecosystem to be able to do for customers everything that they need. Again, moving from the app to suite to true customer platform. So I expect the ecosystem will continue to grow and evolve and deepen in terms of skill
Yeah, I
sets
agree.
and different partner types.
Yeah, I agree. Yamini, when I think about it, you started your career talking about the stories about how customers and partners, like we need to think about almost their lives, like give them the tools and the
Yep.
capabilities to like be life changing. Like I've seen that with people coming to HubSpot Academy. Our mission as a company is to help these companies grow better. And when I think about the work that we do, even on the ecosystem, it's how do we actually give people the tools that if you were just coming and learning something and joining an ecosystem, building something, we could actually change the way that you live. We can help you grow a business from scratch. And we've seen so many of our partners and app partners actually do that. You've come to HubSpot, you've provided for your family, you've created new tools. And I almost think about our product strategy that way, which is it's an equation. To create a flywheel in an ecosystem, you need a couple of components. One set of components you need, and this drives how I think about product a lot, is I need to open up the tools, the APIs, the capabilities so that people have the power to do what they're dreaming about, things that they're building. It's not like a set of tools just to customize. It's, okay, I have a set of, I'm like the HubSpot user, like I'm helping every gym in the world, think about how you can create fitness and how to create healthy lives. And how do I give them the tools to be, to customize what you need to maintain your customer relationships and data? So that's the first phase, which is how do we open up the right capabilities and give people the power and empower them to build really what they're thinking and dreaming of. The second phase is like, it's the 1 + 1 = 5. It doesn't work if it's just we put in one, you get one, and you get two out. Ecosystems and platforms are an accelerator. It's enabling what people believe and dream that like we can't even imagine. And so how do we help put that in the right place for 1 + 1 = 5? I've talked to so many app partners, so many solution partners where they're looking for even more. How do we co-sell? How do we co-market? How do we help incentivize? We're doing so many things in the product to help. We know customers need them. So how do we help match? And then, so excited about platforms and ecosystems for sure, but it's definitely a human-led and champion type of mentality.
Yeah. And what I love about that is you both are super passionate about it. It's, I think you will not stop talking about partners, which is exactly the kind of leaders that we want, to be leading our ecosystem strategy. So I'm pretty bullish just because you both have the vision and you're driving it and we're right behind you, supporting you. So it's great to see that.
Brilliant.
Yamini, do you have a favorite moment in like any ecosystem's evolution or a point in time where you found it to be truly remarkable?
So maybe I'll tell you the moment in time where it is remarkable is the moment in time it begins to accelerate, right? The pace of ecosystem growth is not linear. It actually is. There's like a network effect where the more customers you have, the more partners want to serve them. Mm-hmm. The more partners serve customers, the better results for customers. And then there's just this moment, and we're seeing it, Karen, and you can feel it, right? Like at the ecosystem kickoff, we actually talked about how it took us 15 years to get to the first 100,000 customers, and it took us 2.5 years to get to the next 100,000 customers. And that's momentum. And partners are very much part of that journey, right? If you look at solution partners, nearly 30% of large deals are sourced by solution partners. And if you look at how we've grown co-selling has actually increased by 70%, in just the last 18 months. And if you look at what percentages of partners are doing onboarding, it's actually grown from 45-50% to 78% last year. Each one of those actually shows momentum of how we're jointly serving. And it's the same thing within the app, ecosystem. 90% of partners have app integrations. And when you look at what truly is magical, and this is truly what we all should care about, is customers retaining and getting more value out of the whole customer platform. That's the goal, right? We talk about how we solve for the customer, and ultimately we care about the ecosystem because they drive even more value for our customers. And you can see this in revenue retention. If app partners are involved, if solution partners are involved, then revenue retention is higher. And that's how we jointly solve for our customers. That is truly magical. And I still think that's still very early. We have a lot more to do to drive that type of value, but we're beginning to see that momentum, which is pretty exciting.
I think so too. Yeah, I think one of the things might be worth touching on is Project Unity. You've done a lot to uh, further unify our partner and direct go-to-market motion, so our partners are able to work even more closely with our direct reps. I don't know if
Yep.
there's anything you want to share there.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to this, realization that if you want the flywheel to really start spinning with the partners and the ecosystem, you have to remove points of friction and you have to add points of collaboration. And you have to constantly do it. And if you keep doing, if you keep listening to partners, if you keep removing points of friction, and if you keep adding points of collaboration, then the overall flywheel and the momentum that we can gain within the ecosystem improves, right? And Brian, there was a moment, and I've said this to you, like we had a partner roundtable last year. I was in Dublin, and there were about 10 to 15 partners. Sarah McDevitt was there, and a huge call out to her. But we were sitting in the room, and we said, "Hey, give us feedback." And the feedback was, "Hey, you're doing great in the product, and product is doing well. We can see that you're actually investing within the partner ecosystem. But do you recognize all these points of friction when we work with you in specific deals?" And they gave me a bunch of examples. And we looked at it, and I turned around to Sarah, and she's like, "I got it, right? Like, we got this." And if we can identify points of friction, then let's figure out ways to remove those points of friction. And so Project Unity was literally born right after we had a roundtable feedback session with some of our best partners in Europe and EMEA, right? And what we said is, how do we add collaboration within the entire flywheel? How do we go back to our reps and train them, enable them on when to bring partners into the joint kind of process that we run with customers? How do we collaborate with partners? How do we make sure that we provide a cohesive experience to our customers? That is Project Unity. Like, we're a united team in front of our customers, solving for our customers. And so it's been pretty exciting to see. Obviously, we just came out of Flywheel Kickoff in all three regions, and we spent a ton of time enabling our Flywheel organization. They're all pretty excited. They see the momentum. And I think we have to keep doing that. We have to keep listening. We have to partners, keep removing points of friction and adding points of collaboration so we can continue the momentum.
Yeah, I think, in full credit to you, I think listening to partners has been certainly something that's characterized your leadership. I think they really see that, and you've carried that back to HubSpot, and there's been a lot of evolution and unity in how we do things to be great partners to our great partners. So.
Absolutely. And it's exciting for me to listen to partners. Sometimes they have the right pushes, the constructive feedback, which is what we welcome. Sometimes they tell stories about how their lives have changed.
Yeah.
And that's deeply fulfilling. Like, I met this gentleman, I won't name his name, at Inbound last year. And, he pulled me aside, one of the breakouts, and he said, I have to tell you my story. My story is that I dropped out of college, and I found that, I had kids early in my life, and I needed to support two daughters, and I didn't know what to do. So I started taking HubSpot academic classes. They were free. And then I found my way into a partner, HubSpot partner, taught myself HubSpot, became part of the partner, and my life has really changed. And I support my wife, my daughters. This is all because of HubSpot. And I said to him, "No, it's because of you." But the stories of how we have impacted lives, and they put the trust back in us to continue to deliver for them, that is fulfilling. Certainly the numbers, certainly the vision, all of that is fulfilling. But we also recognize that partners trust us to do the right things for our customers, right? It's always got to start with what our customers need and how do we solve for them. But when we do that, it changes lives. It changes our customers' lives. It also changes our partners' lives. And we're very grateful for the opportunity to be able to make that happen for partners.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
agree.
Our partners pour themselves into our mission to help millions grow better. I think that's what drives each of us. So here. Sorry
Yeah,
to cut you off.
absolutely. What is exciting in terms of 2024 as you both look at our ecosystem and you're driving a set of initiatives this year? What's exciting for you?
One of the things is it's going to sound so. I'm definitely an API nerd in the background, but the number of APIs in our API roadmap this year is going to unlock full categories of what you can do. E-commerce, thinking about just what you can build on top. So I'm excited because I'm like, it's been kind of a haphazard in terms of our best effort. And I think just thinking about the categories and then having this exciting roadmap is one of the
Yes.
things. The other
Yes.
thing for me
By the
though,
way, it's not just you are excited, our partners are
I
excited.
know.
I think, I don't know if you could see it, but as you were talking about the API roadmap and you had this clear vision of how you're opening it up, workflow API, a whole bunch of other APIs in the roadmap, they were just going crazy. So it's not just you; everyone is excited about how we're opening it up.
Yeah,
What
and
about
we
you,
have more to do, but I'm like, I definitely, that story of changing lives. It's that, which is like, use an API, build something that we weren't building, build something that we couldn't be built yet. Push the edges, push the boundaries.
Exactly.
I love that. So
Yeah. I think I'm excited. There's a lot that I'm excited about. I think we've spent 5 years building infrastructure to scale the ecosystem and scale massively through the channel. Um, so there's a lot that I think in this moment are really coming to bear for the benefit of customers, partners, and HubSpot. And there's a lot to be excited about. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about are the network effects. I think, I've been diving deep with solutions partners and providers, our app partners about what they're doing and how they're innovating and evolving their customer bases, their prospect bases, their roadmaps, and just to see the potential that exists when we connect these two communities and just the nascent opportunity that's there and everything that we're doing to make that as easy as possible for everyone. I am so excited for the potential for everyone. Customers will benefit. Our partners will definitely benefit. HubSpot will win. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a really big year. Yamini, this has been incredible to hear more about your customer empathy and your partner empathy and what you're thinking about and what you're excited about with regard to our ecosystem. Thank you so much for joining us and for sharing all of your insights.
So glad to be here. And I'm so glad that you both are leading the charge within our ecosystem. Thank you for what you do.
thanks, ecosystem.
Listeners, if you loved today's episode, you're in luck. We'll be back next Tuesday with more Good Morning Ecosystem. Until then, grow better.